Overwatch fans, we are live in sunny Los Angeles for the 2019 Overwatch League season. It's week 4 of stage 3 and it's heating up. Today, we've got 3 monster matches coming your way. Tonight, we'll see the Los Angeles Valiant as they take on the London Spitfire. The Valiant have been hot recently, though they had their 4-match win streak ended last night against the Spark. Can they start a new streak? We'll find out in about 30 minutes. Welcome inside the Blizzard Arena, everybody. It's Chris Bucket, your Watchpoint pre-show host. I'm joined by the whole crew. We've got Zoe, we've got Josh, and instead of Brent, I've upgraded to a Johnny Cash lookalike. We got hexagrams at the end.
Figured I'd just take my time, walk the lines with the Ring of Fire, you know? And who? Instead of who? Brent?
Brenji.
I don't remember him.
I don't remember. I can't remember his face.
I got
remember his face.
great news for all the UK fans. Brent is back tomorrow, but we get Hex today. It's going to be fantastic. And we've got a super fun Friday coming your way today. The LA Gladiators have only lost 3 of their last 14 matches. But Short4 and Big Goose don't think they're getting the respect they deserve. They'll try to change that in some people's minds later on in the show. Plus, it's the return of our Trivia Masters game where we get to find out which of these 3 lovely analysts is the smartest once and for all. Or at least until we do the segment again. When the action heats up on the stage, though, you'll see the Houston Outlaws close out the night against the Washington Justice. Before that, it's the Toronto Defiant against the Gladiators. And kicking things off, we've got our 6th meeting of all time between 2 inaugural season squads. We're, of course, talking about the London Spitfire and the LA Valiant. London has won 4 of the previous 5 matchups, including 2 in our Season 1 playoffs. The Valiant are 4-2 this stage, and the Spitfire are 3-2. But London's losses came to New York. And if you looked at their most recent one, we thought it was a quality loss, right, Sideshow?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, taking the Hangzhou Spark to 5 maps, it was an incredible performance from them. And this game is going to be, I think, as close, but in a totally different style, because London have been playing a bunch of DPS compositions recently, whereas the Spark was sticking to almost entirely triple tank, triple support. Now, London came out and played against New York, a team that has run a lot of Sombra Goats, a bit like the Valiant. And in their first match, they got destroyed. Second match that you're watching here, they just decided to opt into the DPS versus DPS matchup. Try and force New York away from that Sombra Goats and take that duel instead, with Prophet going ham. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see here as well. Some insane DPS action from both London and from Valiant.
More ham, I'm in.
Yeah, I said you agree. Thanks for that segue. Of
course.
Prophet, in my opinion, has been the most important part of the London Spitfire for the last several years. He was always playing at his best, even when the team was down. So I expect him to pick up the roles that whatever they need, because obviously Fury can play Ifara, so now what does Prophet play? And I think when they run these DPS comps, he's going to play more Sombra, although I would love to see more Hanzo, because I think he's a god on Hanzo. But when they run these DPS comps, it is going to be him on Sombra, and his Sombra has not looked great, and perhaps this is a side effect of the fact that Prophet always has to fill in. Of like, whatever you need, Prophet's going to be the guy at the end there. But the head-to-head versus Shax, I mean, Shax is, I guess the eye test is better for Shax and his performances, and he's one of the big reasons that the Valiant have been looking good, but Prophet's ranks are not great, except Prophet is still a DPS player, because look at those final blows per 10 minutes. 2nd on the Sombra, so I expect him to take a step forward on the Sombra, and London's going to need it going forward in the season.
Yeah, I actually want to take a quick look at their first elims and also the win rate they're getting out of those first elims. So let's compare London and the Valiant. We do see that the first elim rate is actually higher on the Valiant side. However, they don't seem to be able to really translate those first eliminations into a team fight win. As we saw from London Spitfire time and time again, they're actually doing pretty good at following up. Once they have the advantage, they are going in. They're very confident within their place and within their team that they manage to just really go aggressive when an opportunity opens up. And that's something Valiant hasn't really shown us as much. They're a little bit more timid, a little bit more back.
Well, one thing I think we can all agree on is that the Valiant are looking infinitely better than the team that went winless in Stage 1. Much like the Houston Outlaws look way better than they did when they went winless in Stage 2. And today, Houston will take on the Washington Justice. The Outlaws are coming off a head-scratcher of a loss to the Florida Mayhem, while the Justice played London very close in their only match last week. Some might say if Florida can beat Houston, Washington could as well. So let's talk about the Justice. How do you prepare for the Outlaws here in Stage 3?
Well, it is their only match this week. And in their previous encounter when they took London to a 2-1 game, it was their strats and custom set compositions that were the most interesting. They started out on Nepal with Sleepy on the Roadhog, a bunch of different stuff that they were throwing at them. Then they incorporated some Sombra into the mix. Even if London had had the opportunity to scout against Washington, it wouldn't have really helped because these were brand new comps that we've never seen from the Justice before. So I expect this kind of level of craftsmanship in their strategy moving forward in an attempt to throw Houston off their game and get back-to-back losses against the second worst teams in the league.
Washington has just looked better over the last bunch of weeks. The losses look better. They took the Gladiators pretty close. That London game, God, I was so close to picking Washington to beat London in the pre-show. However, I think they're going to have to rely on Corey, especially against a team that likes to run a lot of the Pharah Mercy. Your Widow's your best answer to the Pharah Mercy, to be able to pluck people out of the sky. And all I ever hear from players in both Overwatch League and lower tiers is that Corey is a god-tier Widow. And this is a team that you can play Widow against. So all I ever hear is that Corey is this good on it, and I think he's going to have a chance to play today and prove if Corey really is Corey in the house.
I want to see it. I want to see it. The Outlaws were cruising with 3 straight wins, including one over San Francisco. So, Zoe, let's talk about it. What happened against the Mayhem? You beat the Shock, and then you lose to the Mayhem, who only had 1 win all season.
Well, Pocket, I think this is what the Houston Outlaws is asking themselves at the moment as well. It is a really, really tough spot to be in right after defeating one, if not the best team in the league. You are falling to the Florida Mayhem, which are now, I think, the second worst team in the league, thanks to this very victory. And today they have to go up against the Washington Justice. Mayhem and Justice currently both minus 35 map differential in the overall standings. So they should be roughly on the same level here. And for Houston Outlaws, it's a bit of a mental boom. I very much hope that they manage to recover. I do not think that their coaching staff or the players should have a big issue to game plan against the Justice. I think even though they have looked improved, they are still in the more one-dimensional space where it should be possible for the Houston Outlaws to know what they're going to face
It seemed like
up
Houston
against.
started to drink their own Kool-Aid and just didn't play as tactically sound as they had before. They just believed that mechanically they were going to win.
Well, Houston was just starting to regain some respect before that Mayhem loss, and another team is in the market for some RESPECT. It's the LA Gladiators. And when we come back, it's Short4 and Big Goose telling us why they're out to prove, in fact, they are amongst the top teams. It's Watchpoint. We'll be right back. The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. The Toronto Defiant have some serious work to do if they want to make the season playoffs. Toronto has now lost 8 of their last 9 matches, and today they'll take on the 4th place LA Gladiators. Toronto's 0-3 this stage, but they're making some changes as they look to improve. The Defiant have signed damage dealers Logix from the Montreal Rebellion and Mangachu from the Mayhem Academy. Now, you may remember Logic's Sick Tracer back on the Florida Mayhem last season, and Mangachu from Team Canada the last 2 World Cups in a row. So let's talk about these new faces. How could they help this squad right now, Hex?
Well, I think that Toronto's been somewhat of a boring team in what they run. They mostly just run 3-3. They haven't tried a whole lot. So now you bring in these big damage dealers with amazing pedigree. If you don't know about Mangachu, you should know. Of course, everyone knows Logic's former Florida Mayhem, Montreal Rebellion. He actually played with Gods and Sharek as well. Played on XL2 with Mangachu, and way back when a team called Movie Star Riders. And then Mangachu might be one of the best Pharahs that we don't have in the league. He's always been known as this Pharah player, old Tempo Storm. I mean, so many of these teams, there's connections between these two in the current Toronto roster. So I think it's time to bring out the damage dealers because the 3-3 that they're running is not working. They've lost a ton of games out of their last
I want to see the new faces. I'm just going to say it. Now, on the other side, the Gladiators had a good thing going until they lost to the Shanghai Dragons last week. So, Zoe, how does LA get back on that winning track today?
I mean, honestly, they just have to stick to what they're good at. I don't think that they have to get that let that loss get to them too much. Overall, I really want to look at the maps here, where honestly, despite the numbers, overall Gladiators should get the better end of the stick on Horizon, as well as Numbani. They have been generally looking very good on Assault and Hybrid maps. Control can arguably go either way. And yes, Escort, Dorado. So far, Gladiators don't seem to really perform well on that very map.
It's a scary map for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit surprising. And I think the LA Gladiators in general are going to look like a bit of a weird team in this meta.
Okay.
Because the way that they have set up their roster, they added Surefour into the mix, and we all thought, oh, that's so that he can play the Sombra. But the problem is, Void doesn't really play the Zarya. You want to keep Decay on the Zarya, so you end up having this weird situation where it's Decay that plays the majority of the Sombra. And Surefour's only played a fraction of it. And actually, the team in total has played the 4th least. So they don't really appear to be hopping on this hype train that the rest of the teams in the league are. And even if they do, it means for some very weird swaps in who plays what role. So I think from the Gladiators, they're going to continue to try, like you were saying, Zoe, to catch people off guard just by playing what they're comfortable with, which are these weird compositions where, okay, they're not playing the meta, but they're just playing wild, crazy stuff because they're such a creative team.
Now, the Gladiators have been in 4th place in the overall standings for a couple of months, but they're often left out of the discussion when people are talking about who's actually the next best team behind Vancouver, behind New York and San Francisco. And that doesn't sit well with Surefour and Big Goose, and they're hoping they can change that today.
I think everyone thought we would just be a middle table team, and I guess that kind of thing still hasn't like glossed over yet. With our team, they're like, yeah, we know they're good, but we don't think anyone's like good.
Hey, by the way, it's your boy. Yeah, Surefour leads the charge. How about that one?
We haven't really had any achievements yet that are very big or anything. We haven't like broken through yet. That's what we are missing, and maybe that's what the cast needs, kind of thing.
Gladiators on the up and up right now.
I mean, I don't 100% know why I'm playing Overhydration right now, to be completely honest. I was like in this depression kind of zone, like feeling really bad, and it didn't feel like anything could pull me out of it until like I would play on Paris that first time. And then like I heard the whole crowd saying, Surefour, yeah, he's playing again.
Surefour slotted back in as a main player on this team.
Surefour on the redemption tour.
That is filthy.
I'm just a competitor at heart, so I treat every match equally. Even if a team is 0-14 or a team is 14-0, I'm gonna try as hard as I can, because in the end of the day, I just want to win.
What a huge turnaround for the Gladiators. Down, but not out. This is the most comfortable the Gladiators have looked this year.
For any teams trying to catch up to us, listen, the most important thing in Overwatch is to trust yourself and your teammates and just kind of do whatever you want to do. London, after we beat them 4-0, they were packing their bags trying to go home, and then they beat everyone 4-0. So just do whatever you want, trust each other. As soon as you don't trust each other, you're gonna lose. But the Gladiators trust each other, so you're gonna have to trust each other more than us.
Something like that, maybe. You're not wrong. You're not necessarily right either.
Oh, I love that piece. Big Goose has long been one of the most underrated main supports in the Overwatch League, and it's been a solid stage 3 for the Finn so far. who, of course, leads the league in sound barrier efficiency, along with being in the top 10 in all major statistical categories on the Lucio. Excited to see the Gladiators once again today, but I'm also excited for some surprises we got in just a bit. Coming up, we're going to be playing trivia with these three analysts. Who is the smartest of the group? We'll find out. It's live right here on the Watchpoint Pre-Show, presented by State Farm.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
You can always run away, you can dodge rockets, and they're gonna put agilities on the fire gun. I love this.
Yeah, agility's
Defensive aura. Oh no!
Or you're just gonna get picked immediately now.
Supercharger here for the fuel. Using ultimates just to survive. That's not what Dallas Fuel wanted to do. Not how long. AKM makes
I told you!
Elsa just drops the bomb in!
The armor to wear out. Gonna back around the corner.
Jalon lets it go. Trying
Nice
to
hack on the bumper.
EMP now being used. Bumper just trying to hide in that little corner there with Huxal going down. The self-destruct might just be a pressure relief foul. Freeze! Jadu comes up with the answer, and it's Emong. Emong and Evil Tile to go down there.
Zuma's now out of mech as well. And they're stalling this out big time. A huge kill! And now Mavis got transcended. Baby gets a second and a third!
Where does this happen? Where does this come from? 20 seconds left on the clock. Shanghai, look at all the check marks they've got working on it. Staying in the back line. Oh! Kareem! Clutch sleep making all the difference. Shanghai Dragons down. He cancels out the EMP. Now it's a Hail Mary attempt from the Shanghai Dragons. They get the shatter in. But the Valiant pouring on the pressure. There's the grenade.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
It's time to find out who is our smartest analyst in our latest edition of Watchpoint Trivia Masters. Here's how it's going to work, fam. Each analyst will get 3 questions, and each question will increase in point value. The first is multiple choice, the second is Jeopardy style, so the answers are questions, and our third is guessing players based purely on their fantastic hairdos. Now, one time during each turn, you can consult with our intergalactic expert. It's Johnny Reinforced Larson, straight out of NASA Space Camp.
Put the helmet on, Johnny.
Do you mind if I call into this meeting? I'm on the moon.
Oh, nice. You
Yeah.
look great up there, Johnny.
Oh, thank you.
Anti-gravity's doing you well. All right, so we got to jump right into this. You are our first contestant. Question 1.
Oh.
This Reinhardt is
You
top
stress
5
me out.
in most offensive categories this stage, including second in Earthshatter kills per 10 minutes. So for 1 point, who is stage 3 Reinhardt ranks are these? Is it A, Bumper, B, Muma, C, Amon, or D, Mono?
I actually think it's Amon because I just yesterday looked up Amon's stats.
Well done.
yesterday.
1 point on the board for Zoe. We keep it rolling. Now this one is worth 2 points. You ready, Zoe?
Okay.
Across both seasons of the Overwatch League, this player has recorded the most eliminations.
Wait. Oh, I'm not getting answers this time.
Yeah, you got to say who is, what's his name?
Who is what? am I
Most
looking for?
eliminations.
Most eliminations
In the league.
Who
2
is
seasons.
Sinatra?
3, 2, 1. No,
Sinatra.
not Sinatra. That 2-pointer was Profit. All right.
Ah,
Zoe,
I'm
you can
sorry.
still finish with 4 points. This is
Okay.
a 3-pointer. Whose hair is this?
How would I?
I want to give you a hint.
I don't know. I wish it were mine. That's for sure.
I need an answer. 5, 4,
I
3,
don't know.
2,
I don't know.
1. He
I
plays
can't
for
give
the
you an
Shock,
answer.
and he goes by the name Violet. Zoe with
No
just
one would've
1
guessed
point. How did you not know Violet's hairdo? Come on.
Sorry.
Sideshow.
I wouldn't have got that.
You are our returning champion here on Trivia Masters.
The greatest
Let's
of
kick
all
this
time.
one off.
Yeah, you
Number
beat
1.
Ren, wow.
Across both seasons of the Overwatch League, who has played the most combined minutes? Sideshow for 1 point. Is it A, Carpe, B, Jonak, C, Gesture, or D, the biggest
Most minutes
goose?
over everything. I'm gonna go with B, Jonak.
The answer is Jonak, 3,723 minutes and 22 seconds. Thank you, Captain Planet. All right,
He's in
question
every-
number 2.
Three-stage final.
Worth 2. This player is the only current Overwatch League player to play for the United States Overwatch World Cup team in 2016. Remember, it has to be in the form of a question.
Oh, I
know
can't
this.
remember this.
I know it.
Who is Cool Matt?
Thank you, Bob. The answer is Gods. All right, you're tied with Sully. Here's where you break away. Are you ready? Whose hairdo is this?
Well. Oh, I know.
We were
5, 4.
It's Gods.
It's Gods. Yes.
That was
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
way easier.
Wow.
fair.
Doubling up on the
We were
Gods.
talking about that.
We'll see him later for the Defiant. But for right now, Hexagrams, you are up for 1 point. These somber stats belong to someone who is getting the most value out of their EMP here in Stage 3. He's also doing a ton of damage as the Mexican hacker. Hex, for 1 point. Whose somber stats are these? Is it A, BQB, B, Dante, C, Ding, or D, Eileen?
Let me ask Johnny. No one's talked to Johnny yet. Reinforcements,
Yeah, you're
please.
Oh, thank God you asked me, Hex.
Dude,
Listen,
I'm
mate.
getting you the camera time you so desperately need.
Oh. Oh.
I bring them up and I take them down.
All right, all right.
Okay, you want to play that game? I'm not giving you a clue.
There it goes.
Roasted.
This is why no one else asked.
A, B, C, or D?
Listen, I got 3 words for you. Dexys Midnight Runners.
Dexy's Midnight Runners? I don't understand.
Is that a band?
It is a band, but I
Sounds
don't
like a
quite.
Coachella band.
Oh,
I don't know.
I get the clue. I know who it is now.
I don't know. Dante. B. Dante.
That's going to be a nice D.
Oh, come on, Eileen!
You should have known that one.
I
Hex
make that
loves
joke
his
in class all
karaoke.
the time.
Number 2, I got to keep this one going, guys. The player famously ate a lemon during the 2018 post-match interview.
Who is Gesture?
Great work. Jeopardy super fan over here. Love it.
I do crush Jeopardy.
All right, Hex, you actually have officially won the game, but let's just throw some
Keep
points.
going,
No,
go.
no, we got Guts. All right. No.
Such a man.
Oh.
Look at that. First time he ate a lemon, by the way. No, he
amazing.
said so, yeah.
In the last.
Well,
like,
yeah, you can see there was
Probably.
no fear.
All right, it's a 3-pointer. Whose due is that? Chance to win the game, Hex.
80% of the Overwatch League.
I know exactly who this is.
Come on.
How do you know that?
He's
don't
playing today.
Can I ask Johnny
He's on
again
our
since I
team.
already won?
Nope.
Ah,
No, Josh got Gods. I was wrong.
he's playing today. I don't know.
So easy.
Josh, you want to answer for him? 5,
Boyd.
4. No, guys.
No?
No.
He's so confident.
Okay. Come on.
the wrong name.
Who are these experts? Anyway, Josh, congratulations. Back-to-back champion.
What?
2
I thought I
for
won.
2.
What?
Not
well done.
deserved.
Oh, because
though.
you got the hair
got
one.
Gods.
They
It was
lost
a
it to you
three-pointer.
again. Rigged!
3-pointer.
Scripted show.
Absolutely, it is. Speaking of the script, let me read mine. Now that we know who the smartest analyst is, it's time to find out who's going to win when our Overwatch League stars take the stage in less than 10 minutes from
All right,
now.
we got one.
We'll give our predictions next. It's the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
The grand finals are coming to Philly, baby, at the Wells Fargo Center on September 29th. So head on over to OverwatchLeague.com and get your tickets right now for the biggest Overwatch event in the world this year. Here's a look at two of the teams getting ready on the stage. The London Spitfire dropping some games to New York, but outside of those matches looking so strong in Stage 3. Going up against a team that's been on a heater in Stage 3, it's the LA Valiant, currently sitting at 4-2, trying to keep their overall playoff hopes alive. Let's see who these geniuses think will win today's matches. Zoe and Hex like London, but Sideshow is riding the Valiant train. Everyone has the Gladiators, and Hex is feeling the justice over the Houston Outlaws. So Zoe and Sideshow hash this one out. It's Los Angeles versus London. Go.
Okay, you're just pandering to the audience for once. Congratulations, it almost worked. I actually didn't really hear them cheering for you. Also, I do think that overall, even though the London Spitfire had a little bit of a rough stage and Valiant are looking a little bit better right now, they're still not the better team. They have two new players with Jax and Fact Fiction, which still have to gel.
Great.
Yeah,
Both of
but they
those
still
players
have
are
to
playing
gel.
fantastically. KSF has finally unlocked his potential. We're going to see a DPS versus DPS matchup. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be really close, but I think LA Valiant are actually going to outmatch them when it comes to that. The map pool favors them.
Josh, I have to give you this win because you're sticking to your guns. 3 times you picked the Valiant, but real quick, Hex, you picked the Justice today. Tell me why. You got 10 seconds.
It's Washington Justice Day here in the arena, and I think it's finally time. And also, if I'm wrong, no one cares. But if I'm right, I'm a genius.
There we have it. I love it, guys. So many great games coming your way. Thank you for watching the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. Enjoy the games, everybody. It's going to be a great one. We'll see you soon.